So first off, I want to ask you guys an honest question. I want you to get really honest with yourself when you answer this. And in fact, raise your hand in comments below if this is you. If you have ever said something to the effect of, my butt is too big or too small, my legs are too big or too small, I'm too tall, I'm too short, my lips are too thin or too fluffy, or my ears stick out, or my ears are too small, or my hair is too long or curly or dark or blonde, I have the wrong skin color, whatever it might be for you. If you are someone who has judged yourself harshly physically, I want you to raise your hand. Okay, I'm raising mine because this is true. In fact, I'll raise two because I was raised in this culture too. And not only that, I was a hairdresser. I was in the beauty industry. And I love doing hair because I love to make people feel good. But not only did I help them with their outside so that they felt good on their appearance, I also worked on their insides with them. And which is one of the reasons why I later became a coach. But let's put all that aside. So last night I had this rare moment of time where I was home alone and it was absolutely glorious. And I decided to binge YouTube. So I was flipping through my subscriptions and one of my favorite content creators was on there and she had a video that was titled something like men rating women on their attractiveness. And now I'm gonna be honest. I looked at that and I was like, ew, I don't want to watch men rating women on their attractiveness. Like this is like no bueno to me. But then my second thought after that was, I know this content creator pretty well. And it's like, that's not something that she would have on here. Like there's a purpose for this. And I'm curious to see what this is all about. And what came from this was something that just wholly, completely stamp of approval. It was like substantiating everything that I've ever said to women about how men view our level of attractiveness. This content creator was watching a video and showing blips from this video of these men rating these women. So there was five men, and they were probably around the age, I'm guessing, like 27 to maybe 32 or 33. They were just, sort of in that age bracket. And the women were the same. And there was 5 men and 5 women. And these men looked all different ways. Some were tall, some were short, some had muscles, some did not. Some had long hair, some had short hair. There were different nationalities, there were different races, these type of things. And the same was equally true for the women. Now, we'll tell you, for all practical standards, the guys were attractive and the women were attractive as well. So at first, the men were to rate the women on their physical attractiveness. Now, the women had on big old headphones listening to music, and I can imagine what that felt like standing there while these guys were, perusing you up and down and deciding who is more attractive. And they moved the women around in the line to rate them from first most attractive to fifth least attractive, which wasn't even least attractive because all these women were beautiful. And the second step was to ask them some personality questions and to see if that changed the way they saw these women. And at the end of it, you wouldn't guess what happened. The woman who was considered least attractive was moved to the front of the line. And one of the women that was second in line was moved to the back of the line because their personalities changed the way these men saw them. First off, they asked the men what they thought was attractive physically in a woman. And each guy gave something different. Some said, well, I like tall women. Some said, I like short women. Some said, I like this type of women and that type of woman. And one guy even said, he goes, I just like a face. He goes, I don't really care what's down here. He goes, I just like a face. Now, these are honest answers from these very attractive dudes. But here's what happened. At the end, when the woman who was considered least attractive was moved to the front of the line, now she was shorter than the other women. She wasn't dressed fancy. She wasn't showing skin. And she wasn't what maybe someone would immediately look at walking down the street. In fact, she was kind of at the end of the line, so I didn't see her well, but I was more drawn to the taller, more statuesque women. Well, what happened was when she was moved to the front of the line, she sat there completely stunned. And the girl that moved from second to the end of the line, she was completely stunned because she thought for sure that she was going to win above all of these other women. But here's what happened. When the personality came forth, that's what really shined. See, our physical attributes, the way we look on the outside, is only one tiny piece of the attractor factor. It is in nature that we will be attracted to the way something looks. It's why peacocks fluff up their big feathers. I think the male peacocks do that to try to attract attention to the female peacocks. Okay, so in nature, the physical attributes are what are supposed to draw somebody in. But what's most important is that your internal attributes is what makes a man fall in love with you and want to stay with you. They asked some of these guys what was their like favorite kind of personality traits of women. I don't remember them all, so I can't say. And I didn't even go back to watch the video before recording this, but I remember them saying funny and I remember them saying confident. Those were the two things that most of the men said. So let's talk about funny. Funny is lightheartedness. And lightheartedness means that a man feels comfortable in your presence because you're not going to take everything so seriously and put all your baggage on him and act like he needs to save your life. The same thing is also equally true for confidence. Men like confident women because I will tell you, most men have had the experience, and some women have too, of women who are unconfident and they're feeling unworthy or not valuable, and they're walking around super insecure, they're clingy, and they're requiring their man to fill a cup that is their responsibility to fill. And that way, the man can never please the woman. She will never feel safe with him, and he will never be able to relax around her because she has an agenda. But when a woman is confident in her own skin, then she shows up in a more relaxed way and she is better able to communicate with the guy in a way that doesn't have a lot of boxes that they need to check, preconceived notions and expectations that this guy is going to need to save her in some capacity. That there was a poll recently taken, and I can't remember where I saw it. It's probably just when I was doom scrolling on social somewhere. And the poll was they asked men why they married the woman that they married. And I think this was something like they were exiting the courthouse steps and they just grabbed them right there. They separated them and then they asked each one this question. And do you know what the men said? The men said, I married her because she loves herself more than me. Do you see what I'm saying here, you guys? This is what is attractive to men. So even if you show up in this perfect exterior that you think is perfect, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to land a quality guy. In fact, I will tell you this, most of the time when a woman puts her value on her physical appearance, she is going to naturally attract a man to her that puts his value on her physical appearance because that is the energy that she is vibrating out. However, if you put your value on who you are on the inside, your personality, your intelligence, your quirkiness, all of who you are, let me tell you something. You become a freaking beacon to that ideal man. In fact, you know those big searchlights that they put out when they're opening a new restaurant because they want to call attention to it. This is what you become out in the world. Your inner beauty, your light is going to shine so brightly that you're not going to help but to be able to attract a lot of men to you. Now, if you might be thinking, well, you know, you don't understand. I'm not very attractive. I'm not this, I'm not that. Well, there's a girl on Instagram and she is, I don't even know the right words to call it these days, and I don't want to offend anybody, but she is a plus size person. I want to say her name is Alicia Carville, but I could be wrong. I was just watching a video of hers who has a man that people would think that she could never attract. Didn't freaking matter. It didn't matter. First of all, he's attracted to her physical appearance. Second of all, he's attracted to her personality and he just adores her. So let's quit all of this. Enough is enough. Stop thinking that there's something freaking wrong with you. You are beautiful. However, if you don't feel like you are and you don't know your own value, then you're not going to be able to shine your light. We have to clean up our inner world in order to attract a high vibration quality man. This is why I went through my college of Kristen because I was not attracting great guys and I didn't know why. But when I cleaned up and healed my inner world, stepped into my true value and self-worth, that's when everything changed for me. So if you are someone who is interested in cutting the learning curve on reclaiming your personal power, stepping into your self-confidence and knowing your true value, then I highly recommend you check out my Self-Love to Soulmate Masterclass. It is a 6-week laser focused program that we go through together. Each week you will get a module and a workbook, and then we will meet together for 60 minutes every week to work through all the ins and outs of the program. I will tell you the success rate of this program is somewhere up around 90%. And the 10% that have not yet met their soulmate, for some reason decided it was not the right time to start dating. You can cut the learning curve on this. You can do the right things, the pointed, poignant things that are going to get to the core of the matter so that you can heal them and to reveal your whole, true, authentic, glorious, valuable self and become a beacon to your soulmate. I'll put the link up here, and also it will be in the description below. And also I offer this course as a self-study course if you're interested in that. It's on the same page. You just scroll all the way to the bottom and you can learn about that. So I hope you guys got a lot from this today. I hope it inspires you. I hope it makes you realize that everything about you is perfect. You are designed exactly how you're supposed to be designed, and your perfect partner is out there. He's going to think you're the most glorious being he has ever met in the entire world. You just have to be willing to own your true value and to shine your authentic light. So please give me a like, subscribe, don't forget to share with someone you love, and leave me a comment below. Your comments help activate those algorithms so that I can get my message out to even more people. So until next time, everybody, remember, you are absolutely beautiful just the way you are. You don't need to change a thing about yourself. You just have to own your unique, true, and valuable beauty inside and out.